Okay, I'm here today to interview Jackson Vanderweilen because his major is cybersecurity, and I think he would have very valuable information that would help me in my project to uncover the secrets of cybersecurity. Okay, so my first question. What security risks does an average Purdue student face involving their own personal information?
Well, I'd say as far as me, I think Purdue, just in its own little community, does a pretty good job security wise, with everything that goes in with campus. But obviously, any stores or anything that is usable by credit card, information could be hacked even through Purdue. Um, it's always been hackable. There's credit card hacks on accounts all the time. Um, as far as like Purdue ID and stuff like that, I think everything's pretty safe. Um, Online, our Purdue accounts have been safe. I haven't really heard of any accounts getting hacked. So network-wise, Purdue is pretty safe campus, and I can't see anything too crazy happening cybersecurity-wise through Purdue.
Okay. Question two: how could a student go about keeping control of their own personal information?
The best way to do that on campus would just be to stay organized because a lot of the time, really non-cybersecurity wise, but just socially, it's very easy to lose track of your things. And if you go out and drop your ID or lose something, it's really easy to get your information stolen. And a lot of the time people mistake that for them swiping their card or something, but really someone just looked at your card while it was sitting on the table and wrote down your information without you noticing, just because you were off talking to a friend, not paying attention. So the main thing on campus is just making sure you have your items together, well organized, you're keeping track of your things, because most of the time, as long as you do those things, like I said earlier, Purdue does a good job of keeping cyber threats out, so you should be good.
Okay. Are there any improvements that Purdue could go about strengthening personal security for Purdue students?
I do think there are definitely some that they could do. I guess one thing that could be strengthened is the Wi-Fi. This isn't necessarily cybersecurity related. It can be related, but when the Wi-Fi is down, I feel like Purdue students are more vulnerable to attacks because they're not on Purdue Wi-Fi and they're doing things like getting on different Wi-Fis, which can get hacked easier. So if Purdue can, a lot of the time throughout this year, PAL's gone down and just weird things have happened. Sometimes in the dorm, I don't even get good connection even with an Ethernet cable. So if Purdue can fix their Wi-Fi, I can't really think of anything else that they're doing wrong. Then they should be good to go on everything cybersecurity-wise.
Okay. What would you recommend someone do if they're being hacked or scammed on the internet?
Well, you probably don't know the severity, but first thing, depending on, I guess, the item, so if it's a credit card, instantly call your bank. If it's your Twitter account, contact Twitter, that type of thing. So basically contact the organization where it's happening. Obviously, if somehow your Purdue account gets hacked or something's wrong with that, you'd contact Purdue. The best thing to do is contact someone higher up, because even with our standard level of knowledge, even cybersecurity wise, there's nothing I can do to a hacker that already is hacked into my system that I'm not ready for. The best thing to do is contact the organization that's above you or that's running the program to help you figure it out.
Okay. Have you ever been hacked or scammed? If so, what did you do when you found out?
So I actually have multiple times been tried to be hacked or scammed. Usually what happens, there was one time, I believe I either called or I got a call. It's happened twice. So this was when I was in high school. I got a call, and it was from Microsoft, and they said, sir, you need to update your computer, something like that. Windows is getting a virus, blah, blah, blah. You need to update your computer or else it's not going to be good for your firmware. Your computer could shut down. You could lose all your files, stuff like that. So what I did is I acted like I knew they weren't a scam. So right away I knew they were a scam because I basically asked them questions like, well, this is how they started out. So they went, please open your start menu. Click your start menu. Type in go. Okay, so or type in run. On Windows, that's a way to run programs. And then they type in a web address. Then I go, why do you want me to type in a web address on go, or on run, sorry, when I can just open an internet browser and type that into Google and click on it? Obviously, instantly then, I knew it was a scam, but I went with it just for fun to try to carry it through. And at the very end, obviously I didn't go full all the way through. I was just keeping with what they were saying and agreeing. I said, obviously, I know you're a scam, blah, blah, blah. And they actually got very upset with it. But that's, from my personal experience, I've never been hacked. I've never had a credit card account hack. But that's something I really couldn't, I guess, block. That's just unfortunate if that happens to you. So I've had another one of those happen that's happened twice, but that's about it.
All right, last question. What types of websites or activities should students stay away from to avoid being hacked or scammed?
So what I feel like you get just from being on the computer, I've been on the computer a lot my whole life, and what a lot of people are not good at is realizing what kind of websites are, I guess you could say, malicious, I think that's the word, and what websites are normal. So especially when you're downloading files or going to explicit websites or things like that, you definitely have more pop-ups. And with pop-ups, it's much easier for you to accidentally click something that could be downloaded to your system or something to be run that you don't know in the background that will infect your system. So the thing with pop-ups is to exit them out quickly. But what I was saying with websites is, and download pages, is a lot of people, when they try to download something, there can be 5 download buttons on the page. An ad on this side that's a green button that says download, 2 downloads up top, another download on the bottom, and then one of them might be the actual download, but most of the time when their websites are laid out like that, it's a malicious site, you shouldn't use it. But a lot of people try to click all those download links thinking, oh, this is the right one. I've used it enough to know that if there's even more than one, you're dealing with the wrong website. I mean, if there's just an ad, maybe, because the website was making money off the ads. But you need to be careful with websites and downloads, because downloads is really what infects your system. When the malicious software can actually get into your system and start hacking it is when you're in trouble. Online-wise, the only thing that could really happen, they could get your IP address, maybe affect your internet connection, which could somehow get into your actual PC. But as far as I know, the only way is to really get it downloaded so it's on your actual computer instead of the Wi-Fi. Besides that, I would just make sure to obviously not go to any website that you think is... So a lot of inappropriate websites can have malware. Most people, I feel like, have a good understanding of what is malicious and not, but it's definitely worth knowing beforehand a little bit more about it. So that's my take on it.
Okay. Thank you very much. You've been such a good help.
You're welcome.
Okay. There we go. Thank you very much.